I have reviewed a lot of big name brand automatic litter boxes that are amazing, and I rarely accept gifted boxes that are not from big brand names. But this one has a lot of really cool features, so I wanted to put it to the test. So in this video, I am going to unbox, assemble, and test out this litter box, and we're going to see how it holds up against the big name brands. Let's go. Now this is the G1 automatic litter box, and in the top of the box you get the manual, the trash bags, and the power cord. Off the bat, I love that the power cord is a braided cable. That is key if you have cats that might want to chew on a cable. And I'm really liking the trash bags. I know there's nothing exciting here, but that is key for me. This is a pretty standard automatic litter box trash bag, and that's what you want. You want the standard, as that means you can get a variety of different replacements very easily. And if you were in a bind, you could definitely stick a kitchen trash bag into the same container this will go in. It'll just have some excess at the bottom. And for a final accessory, it does come with a litter catch. It's a little bent up to start as it comes in the drum. But what's nice about this catch is it does actually have the opening on the side. So as the cat goes over the top, it's going to catch all that litter inside it. And then you just pop this open and you can pour it all out in the trash. Really nice design. I do find with these though that it is best to put something heavy on them for a few days to fully flatten out, but they do fully flatten out, and it is a great standard catch all around. Now this is the base. On the inside it has these little wheels, and that's what the drum will spin on, and then this gear here is actually the piece that will make the drum spin. And on the front you have manual controls, which we'll check out once it's all set up, and on the back you have your power port. You also have this opening right here, and that is for the insert that will hold the drum in place. But first, let's put on the legs. Now the legs are very simple. They have a good rubber base. They are pretty wide. Very clearly plastic legs, but they have kind of like a wood coloring to them. And the one last part I like about the base is it does have these great handles on the bottom, which is key. Sometimes you do need to move your litter box around, and when it gets heavy, having handles is really helpful. Now for that last opening on the back, that's for this piece right here. This is what's going to hold the drum in place, and it has a little pop. You'll lock the back of the drum in that, and then it'll hold down, and that means that as the drum's spinning, it's not gonna come off kilter. This keeps everything in place, and it just pops right in the back like that. If for any reason you want to undo it, it actually has a button and you can pull it right out. But if you don't press the button, it's not coming off. So overall, this is very solid. I'm really liking this so far. Now on first glance, this litter drum looks very much like the rest of the automatic litter box drums. It has the opening inside. It has that rubbery litter bottom, and that's really nice as it tips up when you spin it. And then on the inside, it has this filter right here. That's gonna catch all the bad litter, and all the clean litter will go through that filter into a catch within the drum, while all the bad litter will dump out this hole at the top. Obviously, I'll show you that in a minute, but really simple and clean. And on the back, it has this circle that will clamp onto the base, and that helps it spin. And on the sides, you can see these pieces right here. This is what the gear will hook into to spin it back and forth. But you'll also notice something different, and that's these clips right here. This entire drum comes apart for easy cleaning. Let me show you. And then it just comes completely apart. So you can take apart all the pieces and fully deep clean it inside. Really, really helpful. A great way to catch any gross stuff that has built up inside, especially under this litter catch, because that can happen from time to time. And very few of the drums actually give you access to this point to make sure it's really clean. Usually you're just spraying water in there, rinsing it out, and hoping for the best. Now, one thing I will warn you is that it's not the funnest to put back together. You basically just have to line it up and find those pieces, but that can be not the most obvious. So usually you'll want to kind of feel around until you get everything in place. It's not too bad, and I'll pop this in once I hook it all back together. But once you get it, I just want to make sure that none of these are holding it up like they are right now. There we go, lock it down. And now the drum is back together. Let's put all the pieces together. Start with the base, pop open that back latch. Pop in the drum, make sure the circle hooks into that latch, and then just make sure the latch is locked down. And then you have a final cover that's going to cover all these sides and the opening at the top. And that just comes with these two pieces right here, and you really do just hook them together, and then it's ready to go. And it does have a B and an A on it, and those do align with stickers on each side, but it really does just pop right in really easily, and that keeps it looking really good. Now the final piece is the dirty litter catch, and this is a great one. It's a good depth. It's going to hold a lot, but it's not too big. Some of the automatic boxes have ones that are so large that it can get really, really smelly before you empty it. I do think there's a sweet spot with these where you want them big enough that you can go away for a week and not have to worry about it, but small enough that you're not going to ignore it to the point where it becomes a health hazard, as it's really gross to have this stay dirty for too long. But what's cool about this one is it does have this silicone lip around the edges. That's really to help it really adhere to the bottom of the box, so there's no smell leaking around the outside of it. And then on the front it has this little clip here. That's where you put part of the drawstring bag. It'll help it all keep tighter, and when you're ready to empty it, you can just pull that really quickly and close it all up before the smell wafts into your room. Stick it on in and it's ready to go. Now I'll just slide it on underneath, and I can feel it hook into the slides. That's good to go. Now, one key thing to always look at when it comes to automatic litter boxes is safety. You want to make sure that the litter box itself has safety controls, and also think about the worst case scenario if something went wrong, so you know what that possibility could be. Not that it's ever going to happen, but in the absolute most catastrophic situation with this one, because it's only a single drum and it's always open for the cat, the only time that a cat could ever get pinched is once it has opened and has dumped the dirty litter into the bottom dump tray and is then coming back in a circle. There's going to be one small point where that opening to the litter tray closes, and a cat could get pinched if for some reason part of their body was down in the litter tray. Now, any cat older than 6 months and larger than 3.5 pounds not only should never want to hang around in a litter box long enough for it to get to that point, they would always jump out, but if they're larger than 3.5 pounds, this box has a safety feature and it's always going to stop the moment it senses weight. So it would never get to that point, and it would stay stopped until that weight goes away for a period of time. So let's plug it in, set up the app, and put it to the test. Now it's plugged in, and you can see that the first thing it's doing is spinning. And you can see right now just how slow it spins. It's a nice, slow spin, and it's going to spin until the opening right here is over that box, and then it will spin back. Now this uses the Smart Life Smart Living app. There is a QR code in the manual. It is also an app that's used for a ton of other devices. I've used it for other brand pet products. I've used it for lighting products. You can see right here, I have 2 devices there connected to it. So let me add this device. And to do that, all I want to do is hit the plus in the top right corner, click add device, and it's going to manually search for it. And for this to show up, I do need to press this Wi-Fi button for 3 seconds. And now it's in pairing mode, so it should pop up now. And there it is, the globe. And this is a Wi-Fi enabled box, which is key. Definitely get a Wi-Fi box because sometimes it's going to notify you, specifically when the litter box is too full or when it has an error, and you want to know that information wherever you are. I also love that it means that if I'm out of town, I can check data on my cats, I can have it do an extra cleaning, I can do whatever I want wherever I am. So I'm going to connect it to Wi-Fi. Now it's been added successfully. That was really easy. And now we're in. The first thing I'm noticing is it does think it's full of litter right now. And that is something that I need to inform it. And so I will press this and reset the litter box once I have put litter in it. Since I haven't, I'm not going to do that yet. The other options are child lock, and when you do that, you'll hear that it beeped, and that means that none of the buttons will work on the front, and I'm going to undo that. I can also have it run a cleaning, and I can have it do a weight reset. I am going to have it do the reset right now. And the reason I want to do that is I'm going to test it in a minute for weight without any litter in it. And let's check out what else it can do here. It has the settings, clean delay. This is key to me. I always delay cleaning until about 4 minutes after my cats use the box for 2 reasons. One is so my cats have actually left the room and don't get distracted and come back and stare at it while it's cleaning. I have definitely had that happen many times. And the other is 4 minutes is that sweet spot where the litter has finally clumped enough that it will all be caught in the sifter and not go into the clean litter, but it hasn't started to smell up my room. I can also turn on sleep mode, and if sleep mode's on, it's not going to spin at all during that time. It won't do anything. You can also turn on and off prompt light and prompt sound. I don't want any sounds or light, so I'm turning all that off. And it does have kitten mode, and that means that it will not self-clean at all. It's basically a manual litter box until you turn kitten mode off. And finally, I can add my pet information, but it doesn't have pet weight, so I do not think this is going to track which pet is using the box at each time. Let's see how it goes. But past that, this is ready to go. Let's put a fake cat in there for a moment and see how that goes. Now my fake cat this time is going to be a nice heavy book, and on the app it now says cat inside, so it does think that there is a cat in there right now. And when I take this heavy book out, and now it says clumping, and then it's going to clean in 4 minutes, but I'm just going to have it clean now. So now it's cleaning. Let's see what happens if a cat jumped in there. Stops immediately. And now if I took that cat out, let's see how long it takes before it starts back up again. Not too long, but it definitely gave enough time. Cat jumps back in. Immediate stop. So I feel really good about that safety feature on it. It definitely stops no problem. Really nice there. And if you want to get more advanced in the settings, there's a plus button in the upper right corner. And this is where you could set up fancier automations. And specifically for me, I really like that this is where I can control my notifications. So I can control exactly what it notifies me about and what I don't want to be notified on. And one really important one for me is the offline notification. I do want to be notified when this has gone offline for me, as it's really easy to set these up and forget about them. And then you don't know that, hey, the litter box is really full, or it didn't twist all the way for some weird reason, or something random happened. You won't be notified if it is no longer connected to the app. So having the app notify you if a device goes offline is key in my opinion. And going back to the main page, I can see it has been used 1 time. Now on first impression, I see definite pros and cons to this box. Now the pros are it has a nice large drum, a very inviting opening. I know it's not going to pinch my cats. I feel really comfortable using this box. I'm already familiar with this design as I have another box that's very similar to this, and this has that extra feature on top of it that I can fully separate this drum no problem and really get in all the parts and really clean it out. So that is really nice. Now my main con is the data collection. It only tells me when the box was used. I don't get to know how long it was used or how heavy the pet was when they were inside it. And if it tracked weight, it could align those weights to the cat, so it could say, hey, Apollo used the box twice today, or tell me, hey, Apollo hasn't used the box for a day, and give me a lot more information, but it doesn't do that. And I'd like to believe that they could add that in the future. That seems to me like it would only be an app update, since we know this has a weight sensor in it and the app already knows when the box is being in use. All it needs to do is collect all that information and inform you with more data in the app, but we'll see. And my final nitpicky complaint that's purely aesthetic is that I wish these legs just owned the fact that they're plastic and were just black or gray, or if they really did want to go with this wood styling that they've painted onto the plastic here, that they had used a wood veneer to make them actually look like wood legs. That would have made a difference for me, but it's a very, very small complaint and in no way takes away from the capabilities of this box. But overall, this litter box really does hold its own. I do like the overall style of it and the small footprint. It would look good in a lot of spaces. I know that that drum is big enough that it'll be inviting for both of my cats, and it does have all the safety features that I need to see. Now, I will make more content as I continue to use this box, but on first impression, it's a really great all-around litter box.